Buckle up and hold on as we take you for a wild and exciting ride on the road to TransWorld. This is TransWorld Live.
How can you not get excited after seeing that?
I was literally just gonna break in and say to you, like, that just gets me so excited. Like,
oh
my God, how is everybody? How was I mean, here we are on the road
Right back.
to TransWorld, season 3, episode 2, right?
It is.
Oh my God. I can't even believe we've come this far in a lot of ways. Chris, how are you?
Exhausted, and yet you see that video, it instantly, like, this surge of adrenaline comes because we are literally 57 days away from go time. So I can't believe it.
You know what, though? Guess what? We're 57 days away. We're right on track with everything that we've wanted to accomplish. We're going to talk about a lot of that tonight.
Oh,
and I'm so excited. Chris, you know, you've been working hard. I've been working hard. A lot of the TransWorld team has been working hard to get to this point. Some people have been locked in their office since last episode. Shout out to Rich, still working on floor plans and stuff.
True
But
story.
we're rolling right along, even throughout the holiday season. And yeah. So, Chris, talk to me about Wednesday on Netflix. That's the first thing.
I am definitely not at the amount of views that you have seen it, but I have completed it, and it is just brilliant. Just beautiful. Just everything about it. Just brilliant.
So, all right. So, in full disclosure for me, I watched it once and I was like, oh my God, this is great. But I screwed up and I watched it before my husband, and it was like a brief discussion of like, we're going to watch it together.
Okay.
I'm a perpetual binger because like I watch a lot of stuff while I work. And I missed the message on that one and watched it without him. So therefore forced to kind of rewatch it. Well, rewatching it, then I saw a bunch of stuff and I was like, oh my God, wait, I need to go back. So now in my third run through of it with my kids, because they, you know, other than the first time they saw the quote unquote like monster, my kids physically screamed, which I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
They scared me. So yeah, no, so it's effective. It's working. Yeah.
It's so Tim Burton. I mean, it's beautiful, and obviously Wednesday, and just beautiful, like wonderfully done.
At our haunt, we do have a beautiful structure that may or may not be inspired by the Addams family house. So I think about that every time I see it. I'm like, wow, our designer really nailed that one. That was great.
It brings up like a lifelong debate of horror fans and classic TV folks, like Addams Family or Munsters. Like, this has been like one of those lifelong debates. Where do you stand on that? I mean, I know Wednesday's hot right now. But...
Yeah. So I stand like this. I like both of my neighbors, so I like both of them. You can't make me decide. No, I mean, no, really, like as a kid and looking back, there's certain things, especially as like a haunt operator, that I'm like, oh, duh, that's exactly where that happened.
Right.
I had a regular dollhouse, like little pretty wallpaper and everything else. And my dad had gotten a matchbox of the Munster vehicle. And I used to drive in and out all like, yeah. So it was like my dad, that was like my dad and I's thing. And more as things go on, I realized how much my dad loved Halloween and like where I really get that from.
Oh.
Yeah. See, Tara's loving Wednesday as a family. Yes. See, Derek, exactly. We don't have to choose. They can't make us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So it looks like Facebook is acting up. So thanks for putting that in there. But oh my gosh. All right.
Sean and Kyle, thank you for being here.
Oh my God.
It is legendary.
I'm so excited. I can't help myself. I can't help but say it. We've got a supersized episode happening tonight.
It really is. When Nicole and I sat down and kind of planning the show, it's like, okay, we just need to accept, and in Nicole's words, we just need to accept that this is going to be the biggest episode.
We just need to be honest and real.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We've got some legendary guests. We've got some incredibly awesome topics. It's everything that you could ever want.
Yeah. So, all right. Tell me, do you know what today is?
I do, but does everyone in our wonderful viewers know?
Yeah, there is a couple of things. So, all right, you tell me what you know about the day, because I was just enlightened with a couple of things.
So St. Nick's Day today is St. Nick's because it is December 6th, and we kind of had a tradition in our family where you either put your shoes out or your stocking, and you get a little present. Sometimes it's a little bit of chocolate, sometimes it's a fun little toy or something like that. But kind of that precursor to Christmas. So that's how it was kind of celebrated in my family.
So, and now this is what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a very Midwest thing.
Is it really?
Yeah, I never knew about it. You know what I thought today was? It's like Krampus Day.
This is true too.
Yes, I literally told my children they needed to be careful. They were going to be captured. But here you are telling people to put their shoes out for presents. I'm like, listen, keep your stuff together.
Now we can
go. You went to movies.
We can go totally to the other side of it. Are you a fan of The Office? Because I think Dwight Schrute's Belschnickel is one of the best. Have you know what I'm talking about?
So I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not an Office fan. However, I did, fun fact, get to work with Rainn Wilson in the flesh on an upcoming movie that hasn't been announced yet, but I got to work with him, and he is a very nice person, but he's as odd as you think he would be. So there's that story. I can't do The Office, but I can tie it to it.
Oh, you got to Google it. We'll talk later about it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
All right. So, supersized episode. Tell us what to expect going forward.
Well, we've got some big stuff to talk about. And just a quick reminder, because Kyle put it in the chat, he's going to be going to a Christmas haunt, and all of your local, most municipal, I'm not going to say all, okay, I'm a little bit wrong there, but most municipalities and haunted houses around the country are going to be opening up for a special holiday or Christmas show or some sort of Krampus event. So go out there and support your local haunted attraction. In the Chicago area, we're going to see Kyle because he's going to be showing up at Disturbia, which has been a member of one of our pre-show tours before. So we're excited about that. Alan's got Belschnickels in his show.
I know. That's amazing. No, and I it's funny because when you were talking about that, and sorry, that just registered as like something we talked about last night, and I'm like, oh, I should come out to Chicago for that. And then I'm like, oh, I've got I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like December is extremely short this year, and I just have like a ton to do. And it's just hard. It's just hard to fit it all in, but that's amazing. We aren't doing a Christmas hunt just yet, but we've been doing Christmas parades, and that's been a ton of fun. And seeing a lot of our people show up for that. And yeah, it's so cool.
Agreed, Sean. Agreed. Very much so.
Absolutely. Okay, so I do want to talk about, I'm going to take it down just a hair here and just want to send our hearts out to our dear friend Thaler. I think a lot of you saw a post about him needing to take some time off, and he is dealing with the loss of a loved one, and so we just wanted to send our love from TransWorld Live and the TransWorld family. And usually Thaler is on here giving either on the show with us or giving us all sorts of support in the chat, and we just love him so much, and just want to send some good vibes his way. Yeah.
He's a member of the family, and obviously whenever you have somebody that's impacted in any way and it's hurting their home life, you always want to send out the best wishes. So
and also just let people come together on that type of stuff. It's hard. It's hunters supporting hunters.
That's Sean said. That's a perfect circle to it. Yep,
exactly.
Hunters supporting hunters. We got to take care of each other.
Yes, we do. Well, and I think that's all, Chris. That's our news portion, right?
That's our news.
But we have a ton of breaking news from the TransWorld front. Are you ready? I'm ready.
I'm literally drinking coffee since
Speechless.
since we're ready to roll, because we're working on like 3 hours of sleep. Jenny hasn't gone to sleep in like 4 days. So let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's bring Jen on. Jen Thaler from TransWorld, straight from the headquarters of I think it's in her basement right now.
Inner sanctum, the inner sanctum of TransWorld.
Hi guys.
What's up, Jen?
Hi, Jen.
The seminars are live. I'm so happy.
Seminars are live, people. If you have
The
not heard
seminars
about
are live.
this, it's been a buzz. It's been a labor of love in so many ways. Jen, tell us how you're feeling.
I feel great. I really do. I don't think, when we had to push up the show 6 or 7 weeks, it didn't really occur to me that I would be hitting everyone up for doing seminars during Halloween and before Christmas. So we're at our normal time frame where they're usually out about 2 months before the show, but I never really thought how hard it would be to get a hold of people and have people write topics and write descriptions. So I want to tell the industry, I love you all. I know there was a tremendous amount of pressure that I put on everybody, and everyone came through. So we are so excited. All the events are up. The seminars are up. There's still some seminars that I'm waiting for some of the descriptions and some of the titles that'll be trickling in over the next number of weeks. So definitely check every day. But I would say like 85% to 90 are up, and I'm so happy.
And they're beautiful. They're really beautiful.
No, I looked at them today. It made me so happy. So it really has been great. And, a lot of people sent in a lot of ideas, some of which we were able to use this year, some of which we may be able to incorporate next year.
Yeah, Jen, that's a really important factoid too, like to hit on. And I can very much speak to this. There's sometimes that there are people that send in something and it's very brief. There's like no description, and you're sitting there going, wait, so what is this about? There's other ones that they send like this entire thing, and you're sitting back going, oh my God, this is a great idea. Bring this one to the board. I bet they're gonna love it. So it's not an easy process by any means.
And I have a question for both Jen and for Nicole. For anybody that's watching and has a great concept, or maybe has an idea for a presenter, how could they propose that to you guys?
And that's a great question. So we have forms on our website where people can get an opportunity to kind of let me know what they're thinking in terms of what topics they would like to talk about, a description, that kind of thing. And it really enables us to look through them and say, yes, this is great, or we may have to table this, for next year, or maybe this is a better fit for Midwest Haunters. We always try to figure things out. So it is a bit of a process. And then there are some people that, we have that people want to hear from every year, where people will fill out evaluations and they're like, please bring the speaker back. So, it always is kind of a mixed bag. A lot of things go into it. I do want to thank a lot of the people that do help make all this possible, Nicole being one of them, Anne-Marie Gavinsky, which without her, it would be complete.
Without her, our times would be wrong.
Ben Armstrong, who I don't stop talking to every single day and driving him absolutely nuts. And Alan Hobbs. Alan, you're my right hand. I call him. I want to know what's new, what new trends, what we need to put out there. And then we've got a bunch of the people as well on the Christmas side that people may not know as well too. James O'Hennessy. We've got some people that are helping with the installer series. I mean, it really takes a village to pull all of this together. And then Nicole with the interactive entertainment.
Thank you. I did have help. We've got a new board who's awesome that have been very helpful on that side. So it's been great.
Yeah. And we changed some of that over too, where last year, and that may be new for you guys, last year, over the last number of years, it's really been a room escape. But, things have just expanded so much in that world of interactive entertainment that we figured we didn't want to pigeonhole it anymore by just calling it escape. And we wanted to be able to teach people all sorts of other interactive entertainment types of activities. And Nicole did an amazing job on setting up all of the seminars for that. And,
no, but again, I did.
Shout out to Sean Fishstein for helping as well on some.
Yes, I was just gonna say Sean, Javi. I mean, the list goes on and on. Brian, Benito, like literally my list. We're gonna have to do a show about them because this new board is awesome. There's a lot there is a lot from the interactive side too that's coming down the pipeline too. Just if you guys are ever thinking about getting into it, if you're thinking about doing Axis, if you're thinking about doing Jelly Ball, if you're thinking about doing, pretty much anything, it's going to be talked about there. And it has been a transition, but it has been such an enlightening and like refreshing start. And it reminds me of when the escape room started to pop up and the excitement and the buildup for that on that side. And the speakers are so excited. We've got a speaker coming from the UK. We've got a speaker coming from Canada. We've got people coming from all over the place that are just like ready to go and ready to share everything that's happening.
I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. We're done.
I picked a few seminars that I'd love to ask you guys a little bit of stuff about.
Chris. I love it.
Yeah. So there's one that stood out to me. And if you found a seminar that really stood out to you and you want to ask some questions, please do so in the chat, because we have everyone here, the brain trust that's making that happen. But I happened to catch one that really caught my eye called Emerging Trends in the Haunted Attraction Business. And it's got Ben Armstrong, it's got Chris Stafford, and it's got TJ Manarino from Universal. Wow.
That's big.
And I have to say that seminar did come about from Mr. Stafford, because I called Chris and I said, what are you seeing? Obviously Chris has a lot of haunts. We all know that 13th floor owns a lot of haunts. So I kind of wanted to know what kind of seminars would be relevant, what's new, what's happening. And so we talked a little bit about it. And I said, I think this would make for a really great seminar. I think it would. So we were able to get Ben on, Ben can have his thoughts, and, Universal Horror Nights, obviously, who has, such a broad reach and sees a lot of different things, get everyone together on a board and, for them to kind of give their perspectives. And I think it's going to be an amazing seminar. It really is.
I do too. It's one of those ones that like, when you hear it, you're just like, oh my God, Jen, that's a great idea. And Jen's like, it wasn't mine, but.
I would love to take credit for it, but I can't.
Well, for those that are keeping track, keep your calendar free. Thursday the 2nd from 12:45 to 1:45. You don't want to miss that. And I just want to point out something real quick. Now that seminars are open, it's going to be first come, first serve. So a session like this with all-star presenters, all of our sessions are all-star presenters, but something like of this magnitude, the seats are going to fill. You've got to get your tickets as soon as you can.
And buy them before, to Chris's point, buy them before the 26th of January so that you don't pay the extra $15. Buy them. We try to discount them for a long period of time. So buy them early.
Yeah. And so just as like some insight on that too, just from an operations side, there is, if you haven't been to TransWorld, or if you've only been in the last couple of years, there is a very strong likelihood of standing room only or occupancy. Like that's something that we haven't dealt with in the last couple of years because of COVID and because of different things. But Jen, is that correct to say that the trends you're seeing are very much towards what the original 2020 show was going to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be, and Rich and I were talking about this today, this is going to be the largest show we ever produced. I know there was some apprehension with the dates being in February, but I mean, the show floor is going to be, and I know it's not up yet. It will be up, hopefully next week. The show floor is going to be the largest show floor we've ever produced. I mean,
and that's, and Jen, that's not even like, I mean, that's a reason to brag, number one, but that is to let people know, and especially our folks here, spread the word, like get your stuff in. I was just talking to my crew about it, and I was like, hey, not only have we been saying the hotel thing, and we're just saying that from a standpoint of, but on the back end, the communication that's coming in is stating, get your stuff done. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I'm getting calls on people that want me to add hotel rooms. I'm like, I can't add what's not there. I'm like, please. So, I mean, if you haven't gotten your hotel rooms yet, I can't stress enough, please get them.
Well, I have a question for both of you. So Sean asks in the chat, what happens if you select a seminar at a specific time slot and then another seminar is announced and you want to change that?
And we can do that. We don't love doing that, but that does happen. So what we can do is just either on site or beforehand, we can make that change so you can take that other seminar. So that's a good point, because that, sometimes that does happen.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, it is.
And then you guys really quickly, just so that you know, there's a lot of people out there that are spamming a lot of our exhibitors and buyers and saying that they're with TransWorld, they're with the hotels and all this stuff. Don't do that. The best negotiated rates are going to be the ones on our website where they have the deepest discounts. All these other people do not work for us. You will never get a call from TransWorld asking you to purchase a hotel room. There's not enough hours in the day to do that.
I was just doing that earlier today. What are you doing?
Wait, I had an experience with this before where somebody was calling me and they were like,
the whole thing is there's a safety and security issue. We don't know where your credit cards are going. Don't do that. We don't know if the company's even legitimate and really can get you a hotel room. There's so much spam going on that you really don't want to deal with that.
that is a really great point. No, like I said, I had somebody call me and they were like, oh, we're from TransWorld and we saw you were speaking. This was last year. We saw you were speaking and want to make sure that we're verifying your hotel reservation and da 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 da. And I'm just like, I go, excuse me? I'm like, wait, this is Nicole from TransWorld Live. How do you think?
No, I mean, it's scary because what happens, Nicole, is people think they booked their rooms and they show up and they don't have rooms. I mean, all they want is your credit card information and other things. And it's really scary what's going on. They're selling lists, they're selling hotels, and we're not the only show it's happening to. It's happening, it's an industry-wide problem. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people should just be aware of that.
That's a great point. Now, we did have a question from the chat. If we can go back to seminar.
Yeah, for sure.
Jennifer had asked, if a seminar is full, will there ever be two of the same seminar? And I'm going to add in, or will there be a wait list?
That's a good question, Jennifer. Typically, we just keep adding chairs most of the time. But yes, on occasion, we could wait list if that becomes a problem. Sometimes Anne-Marie, I have to give her credit. When she starts to see those numbers going up, she tries to switch rooms and put that seminar in a different room and move things around. Maybe some of you have had that happen where you thought it was in one room and it ends up being in another. And that's just because there, more people, it's become a more popular seminar. So we've given a larger room, but we really try to accommodate everyone. This year, I just don't know how it's going to be. So we may end up with a wait list if that occurs, but there's a crazy amount of people coming to the show and there's a crazy amount of exhibitors. So there's just a lot going on. My best advice is to just, if you can, plan as early as you can. I think it's going to be the smoothest experience for you if that happens.
That is really solid sound advice on that side too. And the other thing is getting there on time. I'll never forget when I attended one of my first popular seminars and I showed up and they're like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait right here until somebody comes out. And I was like, what do you mean? And then somebody came out and they're like, all right, you're next. And I was like, oh, and I was like, honored to stand in the back. I was like, oh, good.
No, it can be crazy. So we're excited. The other thing you guys should take advantage of, a lot of attendees don't know this, is exhibitors do seminars and those ones are free. So they get a chance to kind of explain more about their products or showcase something that they can't do at their booth. So we have about 10 or 12 exhibitor seminars that are given on Friday and Saturday, and those are free to attendees.
Now, Jen, question from our viewers. If you get an unlimited seminar package, how can you reserve a spot for a particular seminar?
It's a good question. Usually the super pass people, and that's what I think he's talking about. They always, we know how many of them there are. So we accommodate, they'll always be accommodated.
That's
super passes, VIP passes, even the VIP pass, they have the first 3 rows of seminars reserved for them. So if you're a VIP buyer and you pick those 3 classes, you can walk right in and sit down near the front of the room.
Worth it.
That's
worth
awesome.
it.
But
yeah. Chris, did you have more highlights for us?
Oh my gosh, I have so many.
Oh, do you? Okay, all right.
So I noticed that obviously we're all about trends and we're trying to make sure that we are capturing everything that's important to our industry. And I happened to notice a whole series starting with an intro to projection mapping, still on Thursday. That's exciting. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I mean, projection mapping, if you're going to notice, Jordan Nash is really an amazing speaker and he's really a genius and he really understands the mapping and all the different things you can do with it. He's going to be speaking at a couple of different times. I think he's speaking a total of 4 times at TransWorld. He's speaking a little bit on the Christmas side. He's got some crossover seminars so that the Halloween and Christmas can hear him. But it really is, projection mapping has become such a big thing in our industry, and people are using, video mapping for so many different things, for so many different events too.
Yeah, no, I think, well, I remember that one going in and being like, oh my God, I'm so excited. That is so great. No, and when we interviewed John Eslich, he showed us a really great addition for your haunted attraction and implementing that. And I think that a lot of people were really excited on that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it was one of those things that was really requested, when people filled out things or people want what they want to see. That was a huge one. So we tried to make it available at a couple of different times, so people could see it.
Now, we consider him family, and he's certainly no stranger to anybody in the industry. There has been a couple of suggestions to maybe make him teach sessions every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the first Alan Hops session is going to be on Thursday with ceiling to floor room designs to die for. How awesome is it seeing an Alan Hops presentation?
I mean, first of all, I have to say that Alan limited me this year.
I was going to say that. I was in the room for that conversation.
He said to me, I always try to get him on just another little panel or a little more of a nugget. He said 3. That's it, Jen. I think I pushed him over the edge last year. And so now he's bringing me in. So we get 3. So me and Alan sat down, and Nicole was there. She can attest, trying to figure out the 3 seminars that Alan could teach that would be most relevant to the industry. One of which, unfortunately, had to be a panel. He said that was included in my 3.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He did. But yeah, I mean, Alan's seminars are amazing. He always has so much knowledge to give, and he's really on the cutting edge of what's happening. And
and continues to stay there.
Yes, he does. He keeps himself very up to date, and he's always trying and doing new things. And I think he has a lot of value, for people. So he's a very important speaker to the show.
Jen, if I can add, one of the cool things that Alan did was actually bring 2 spotlighted topics that his people individually specialize in and are going to share with our TransWorld audience, which I think is very exciting and very cool. That not only are they willing to do that, but they're they're good enough for Alan. So, they got to be
good enough for us if they're good enough.
Exactly.
Shout out to Teddy in Boston. Great.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
We're excited. Yeah.
Now, we can't forget, of course, it's fun to create all kinds of amazing, creative, artistic stuff that we get to be a part of, but it's still a business. And so one that caught my attention on Friday was John Denley's The 13 Secrets to Maximize Your Haunted Attraction Profits. Because if you don't make profits, you can't stay around.
Yeah.
It's a really great point. It's a really great point. And if you have never seen him speak, he's a very dynamic speaker, and he's also a really great resource when it comes to knowing a lot about the haunted attraction industry, as well as operating for a number of years within these realms. And just he's a very generous guy all the way around to with giving tips and tricks and being able to really, help you maximize in a lot of ways.
Yep, I would agree.
Now, keep in mind, we're just brazing the surface
Yeah,
here. I mean,
and
these are
for
just,
anybody watching at home, these are literally ones that Chris was like, these caught my eye. I want to hear more about these. So there's literally, if there's any more that you have, put them in the chat, because
please, we want to talk about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, training teams and everything else. I mean, there's so much valuable information this year. I mean, really, when I went through the seminars and saw what people attended the previous year and the things that people were asking for, a lot of thought really came into this. Typically, if it was up to me, and I'm going to be honest, I would be loading this with business seminars, because I just feel like there's so many pitfalls.
Yeah.
And you have to have that strong foundation. Unfortunately, the industry does not agree with me. They want to know how to get scared. They want to know, some other things, and all things are relevant. But I mean, I think this year we really tried to come up with the things that seemed to be the most important to you guys. And we really went with that. But you do need to go to that sponsorship one by Michael Book. I mean, that's a really
yeah.
So I tried to pepper in a little bit of business, but I understand that whenever I do it, they don't seem well attended.
Well, Kyle definitely took some good steps here for me, because the very next thing I wanted to talk about was our interactive. So there's great sessions that are filled with very intelligent people who have tons of industry knowledge.
Yeah.
And then there's some amazing sessions that are interactive, where you can actually use them like a workshop. And we have one that caught my attention, and I know a lot of folks that watch us were a part of that, is the art and science of cue acting, with our very own Tater, with Katie Lane, with Japes Palace, and Tila Halpin.
I mean, Tila's amazing too. I mean, I know a lot of people know Japes, and a lot of people obviously know Tater and Katie, but Tila, she works at Hell's Gate, and I just feel like she's a hidden gem. And I think all of you guys, she's so smart. I think she's a great addition to the panel this year. And I think you guys are going to gain a lot of knowledge from her. I mean, she is just so amazing in character. So I just wanted to give her a shout out, because I know some people just, may not know her as well.
There was a version of this seminar, I think at MHC with Alan, and I think Nicole and I stopped by and just had a blast. We were just filming, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, speaking of Nicole, Nicole has a wealth of knowledge, a well of all of these amazing things. Obviously, that she helps Jen and Anne-Marie and assemble all of these wonderful things. But on Saturday, she's going to be speaking about social media, what social media platforms are relevant to today's attractions, with our very own Nicole Ginsburg.
Yeah, that is me. I'm going to be there telling you all the things you should be doing on the interwebs. No, and actually, so this is a cool, kind of a cool approach on this side, that it really is going to talk to kind of both sides of the industry, right? So one of the major factors of what you should be doing, and if you personally are not doing it, what your team should be doing. I've watched over, just the course of my career doing social media in a lot of ways. The amount of times that people are paying for things, and I'm like, hey, that's free. That's free. You shouldn't be paying for, you know what I mean? So, and that's part of it. Social media is such a new medium in a lot of ways, that when you look at it compared to other things, you're like, oh, well, it's a radio ad, or it's a print ad or whatever. So it costs this much. Well, there's a lot of art to that too, when there's an industry standard now coming out in a lot of ways, and it's kind of like when you go to build something and the wood costs this much, so kind of getting people in tuned on that side. And then the other thing is knowing what you're paying for, but also a lot of free ways that you can promote your attractions, both haunt, Christmas, all that.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's going to be great.
It's important. It's a huge thing. I mean, it's not just about building your attraction. It's about then how do you go to market with it, and that's a huge thing. So I think those are very important seminars. And you know what I like about Nicole? She's very relatable.
Tell me.
So, I mean, I think that, but I mean, not to just build her up, but even when I call her for things, it's, sometimes you call people and it's just so over your head, and you're like, I could never implement that. Like, I wouldn't even know how to start to do that. Nicole breaks it down into terms that really you can understand, so you can apply it to your business.
Well, thank you. And what I immediately thought of is today my mom was trying to send me a PDF that she downloaded on her iPhone, and she's like, I don't know how to do it. And I could have been like, Mom. Instead, I was like, oh, okay. And I screen captured and did all this other stuff, and I sent it to her, and she goes, I pulled it down. I go, no, Mom, you have to press play. And she's like, oh, okay. Then she was like, wow, that was fast. Thanks for that. And I just think to myself, you know what? In any situation or any realm, if I didn't know how to do something, I would just want somebody to be like, oh, no problem. Here you go. There you go.
Yeah. No, and that's true. And that's why I think this seminar is going to help so much. So I think it's a great seminar, and I think people should take it, and I think to the points of what we do, there's a lot of crossover between Christmas and the interactive and the haunt. So we do also, even if you see a seminar that's categorized under Christmas, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take it and it's just for the Christmas industry.
And vice versa, right?
Exactly. So I just want people to be aware of that too. Look at everything, because there may be that little nugget that applies to your business that you didn't think about and that you may want to add.
So, and I know this is very similar to the topic that I'm going to be speaking on the haunt side, and that's going to be more tailored to haunted attractions, obviously. But even on the Christmas side, I'm going to be heading over that way to do some stuff on that side. But on the interactive side, we're actually bringing in somebody whose topic literally says why digital marketing sucks. But at first I was like, oh my God, you can't say sucks. Like, what do you do? And then I read his description. I was like, you could absolutely say sucks. This is a great seminar. This is exactly what people need to hear. Jen, we do have a comment from the audience we need you to be aware of. They think that you just keep looking younger every year, and they're wondering if it must be something in the Froggy's fog. Now everybody realizes
why. Look back to me. He's like, whatever.
Why I keep my fogger right here.
Well, thank you. I don't know who that person is, but I love you.
That would be Michael Higgins giving you the great
Thank
shout.
You. Love you. Come in the show office, say hi.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh,
One of
great.
Oh, one of the best parts of doing everything that we get to do here is we get to meld minds with some of the best people, some of the brightest bulbs in the entire box, right? And one of the other sessions that really popped out to me, because I know sometimes in a session, you're listening, you're taking notes. It's a kind of a lecture thing a little bit. You're having some fun. You're laughing with your friends, but creating 61 scares in 60 minutes sounds like it's going to be down and dirty, fast and furious with Ben Armstrong, Alan Hops, and Mike Henry.
I have to say that is probably our most popular seminar that we do. It's either 61 scares in 60 minutes, or we do different versions of it every year. And it is just one of those things that I just think people get a lot out of it. I mean, I honestly do. And you've got obviously great minds giving you great advice, but it just is. It's one of those seminars that I think just is fast paced and gives you a lot of information.
And one thing I want to note on that too, I try to attend that one every single year, no matter who's speaking. I don't care if it's the same speakers over and over again, because there's always something that you learn. And you know what I noticed about that seminar? I am not the only person in there that I recognize. I have seen John Eslich in there, Tim Gravinsky. I've seen, people that have been like the godfathers of the hunt industry are always in there. You know why? Because they're always learning stuff too.
Yeah.
And it's not only refreshing on the other side, but you walk away with pages of notes from that seminar.
Yeah.
Because I've never questioned it.
Yeah. That's one of Alan's 3.
One of 3. So if you
3, that's how good it was that I had to make one of them a panel.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Alan, if you're out there and you have a 4th one you want to do, feel free. Don't hold back.
We can do that.
The people have spoken.
Oh my gosh. Alan
says he has trouble teaching because he's taking notes at the same time.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome.
Never stop learning, folks.
Haunters helping haunters. That's to Sean's point.
Exactly.
Now, we've talked a lot about the haunted attraction industry. We just touched on Christmas. Do you guys want to talk a little bit? I noticed that the TransWorld Holiday Lighting Installer Series is a new feature this year.
So we did it last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But that's okay, Chris. It went really, really well. And, it's one of those things that you've got a whole other group of people that are coming in, whether they're landscapers or power washers and things like that. And they can just decorate your homes, or they decorate businesses so beautifully. And it's been a great add-on for a lot of people's business, so that it keeps them going throughout the year, similar to for the Halloween industry, where they're adding on Krampus, or they're doing Valentine's Day and other things like that. This whole adding on to their existing business by learning how to install Christmas lights and tree wrapping and all sorts of things, and video mapping on homes.
Yeah.
And it's been great. So I set it up a little bit differently in the last 2 years, which I think makes sense. Instead of having to take the whole kit and caboodle, which you can do, obviously, and you get a discounted rate, but there also could just be individual seminars, or someone doesn't want to sit through 2 days and they just want these particular 3 seminars. It's like a salad bar. You can take the whole thing and get a discount, or you can just pick and choose little things. But I think it could be good for the Halloween side of the business too, because there's little things. I know a lot of the haunted house owners are looking to add on Christmas, and not just Krampus, but Christmas events or walkthrough events. So I think they could learn a lot from the installer series as well.
Yeah, I think, and one of the eye-opening things for me when really looking at it and kind of delving into it more and more is all the stuff that you can learn from it and all the things that kind of cross over. You know what I mean? So it's really cool. It's hard to it's hard to think outside of your industry when you're constantly there or when you're at the show to create. But crossing over or even just breezing over those titles, you're like, wait, I do want to see that, or I want to know how to do that. Or I want to,
Yeah.
Sean, great question. Stay on. We have just the person to answer that for you coming up right in a little bit here. Now, one of the biggest changes is obviously the transformation from just escape room focus to now interactive entertainment. Do you want to talk a little bit about how now we have an entire new slew of interactive entertainment seminars?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. I want to talk about this because this has been one of the things I'm like bursting at the seams about. I'm so excited about it. So a lot of you guys know we were in the escape room, like we kind of tailored that side to the escape room city. But one of the trends that we started identifying a while ago, Jen, I think actually like going back to 2019, was that a lot of operators for escape rooms were kind of like, wait a second, I want to get into axe throwing, or I want to get into paintball, or I want to get into this because it's a business model that they know, right? I mean, a lot of haunt owners got into escape rooms because it's the same type of model, right? Yeah. And so there is like a shell or a skeleton to it that kind of works, right? If you're doing things in certain realms and it works, you're adding certain things on. So what we started seeing as a trend, especially with friends in the industry, this one's adding axe throwing, this one's adding paintball, this one's getting into the gel blasters, this one's getting into the selfie museums, and I mean, the story goes on and on. But what we also started seeing is a lot of people going, well, wait, there's not a show that I can go to for selfie museums. There's not a show I can go to for axe throwing. There's not, so the more and more we talked about it, the more and more we were like, but we have these people that can talk about this. So it's really important from the interactive entertainment side that you realize that even if we're not talking about, your specific industry thing, we're talking about the entertainment industry or the interactive component to it as a whole. And there's a lot of us that bring a lot of knowledge in that just from running different models and like kind of what you learned here and what you applied here, or, what you'd never do again. Being honest with people and saving people some money, but also, kind of letting them in on the, hey, if you're not doing this, you need to be doing this realm.
No, that's right. I mean, I think she's 100% right. I mean, honestly, it was bleeding into the show as it was changing over the last couple of years. And for anyone who's been to the show, it really was going from it being really more traditional escape rooms with puzzles and locks and, building and turnkey, box escape rooms, escape room in a box. I think that's what they, when they first started out, and they said, and everything's just changed. And over time, axe throwing has gotten into it, and the pop-ups have gotten into it, and, different in the gel blasters and all the different things Nicole just mentioned. And so it only made sense that all this stuff was starting to, come on the show floor to make the seminars match what was going on and the people and what they needed, what they needed to learn, because all this stuff was another avenue for them to, add to their business. So it just made sense to change things over and not make it so limited to just escape rooms.
When I was looking through some of the interactive entertainment seminars, one really popped out to me, and I wanted to bring it up to you both. That's a big question. A lot of people may not have that courage or may not know when to jump in, when to jump out. They want to learn more about the interactive industry. And there's a panel that Nicole is a part of, and would love for her to talk about it on Thursday. So if you have questions, if you're curious, should they join this seminar called?
So they absolutely should. And so here's the deal, is that there are people on here that you're probably going to be like, oh, Dwayne's on there. Well, one of the reasons Dwayne's on there is because I think that, and Dwayne and I have talked about this, that he's going to get on there and he's going to say, listen, I've got a hunt, I've got escape rooms. That is what works for me. That is what works for my customer base. That is what works here. He'll talk about some other things that he's kind of thought about and kind of go into that. I'm going to talk about the fact that, yes, there is a haunt. Yes, we have an interactive gaming concept, but I'm also going to talk about the fact that I did a full workup, lease plan, everything else for axes. And at the last minute, I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Right. Because in my market, I was like, I'm not going to make the money that we want to make for what we're trying to do, right? Versus getting into the gel blaster round versus running a paint and sip for almost 5 years. What kind of that taught me and what principles I can bring to the table on that side and kind of talk about that. Then we've got Brian Vinciguerra, who's been running escape rooms, but also recently is finding huge success getting into selfie museums, right? And he's another one. He was going to do axes. He was going to do a couple other things. He decided that was the avenue. And then we've got Amy Phillip, who's joining us as well, who not only has been very successful in escape rooms, operates multiple units of them, but is just now getting into axe throwing and how long it took her to actually accomplish that, So, and we're going to talk about the barrier of entry of a lot of these industries and kind of knowing what to expect. It's hard because for escape room owners back in the day, $5,000 got you in and you could get really creative with it, right? Now we're talking about $80,000, $100,000, $150,000 build outs. And that really changes, not only when I talk about the barrier of entry, but it kind of changes what you're going to do next, and I'm going to talk about, the paint and sip was like a slam dunk for us. $250,000 in before we open the doors. You're like, wait a minute here, so there's some things like that, it is important for the industry to know and people, on the other side of, we're very passionate about it. And how long does it really take?
Well, and that's great too for a lot of people because you express the pitfalls, the good and the bad.
Sometimes way too honest.
But I mean, and I think that's important because you're giving them the option to not have to go through that, and right. I think that is just, that's so important.
Or if they're going to go through it, they know, they know, wait a minute, we can't do it this way. Nicole was telling us not to do it this way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, we got all sorts of people.
I know. Max, we love Ohio. Hi, how are you? So I know that we have only touched the surface because we only have so much time. There's literally just an absolute plethora of seminars.
Yeah.
How do we sign up? Where do we go? What can we do?
So you go to the website. The one thing I want to make clear is in order to sign up for a seminar or a seminar pass or things like that, you need to be signed up for the show. So the first thing you need to do is make a decision if you want to just buy the regular 4-day pass or you want to buy a VIP pass. Once you've signed up for one of those, then you can go in and sign up for the parties, the events, and everything else.
That's a great point.
So, and the other thing too, you guys, is if anyone does have questions or has trouble, call us. I'm happy to walk you through, the sign up process because sometimes for someone new, it's a little bit different and they need a little bit of help and we're here to help them. So. And after you do sign up for the show, this is a question I get a lot. You do not have to buy seminars and events at that time. You can go back in at your leisure or, and then decide that you want to, layer in some parties or some seminars and things like that. So you don't have to do it at the time you purchase the ticket.
Very flexible.
Very flexible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we talked a little bit earlier about the different packages because obviously you could buy a seminar just straight up 1-for-1.
Yep.
Or if you're seeing a whole lot of stuff, you have a 5-pack option.
Right.
Kind of nice. And then if you really want to see everything, you want to be just diving into the deep end of everything, you can do the super pass.
Right. I mean, and it enables it if you really do want to take a lot of seminars. I do recommend taking the super pass because it's a great value. So that's something good. I mean, it really is going to depend on what you're looking to do. And the VIP pass is a great option too, because that comes with the seminars. And then it comes with a whole bunch of other stuff too, with the food and the VIP lounge and, all those different types of things and not waiting in line. Some people hate waiting in line for the show or hate waiting in line to get into the parties. And, it enables you to have a fast pass. So we try to really create something for everyone.
I think you do a really great job on that side. Really, I mean, there's so much behind the scenes that I know a lot of people don't see, and I know that there's a connection there that I'm seeing a lot of it, and it really is. I watched Jen be like, wait, we can't do that because of X, Y, Z, and it's like, how do you even remember that? So it is carefully curated in so many ways.
And we're also happy if you guys want to call us if you kind of are telling me how you want to tailor make your experience. I can kind of guide you too on what package I think would make the most sense for you.
Personalized advice.
Yeah. So
And just to like put that out, like Jen has called me before and been like, "Hey, Nicole, we have a new haunter that's doing this, this, and this. But they also are thinking about escape rooms, and they're also thinking about this. Can you think of 3 seminars that they can do?" And I'm like, "Yes."
we really try to personalize that. So I mean,
That concierge service though is not for everybody.
we want everyone to have a good experience, or you can shoot us emails too. So
Yes.
we're there to
Emails are
answer
great.
questions. But we're really excited that everything's up. We hope that you guys really like what we did this year. God knows it took a lot to get things done so quickly. And we're just excited. So we're excited to see everyone in, the next couple of weeks. Well, actually, it's not. It's 7 weeks, right? What did you say? 52. Well, how many days did you say, Chris?
57. I
It
can't
gave me
believe-
I started getting palpitations when you said
Yeah.
I did. Every time he says it, I'm like, ugh.
because actually it's a week earlier when we leave, when the team leaves, because we have to get everything ready.
Right.
But we are really excited. We hope you guys enjoy, everything that we put together. And if you have questions, feel free to call us. We're here to help.
Well, just a credit real quick to both of you and your entire team. We praised Rich last week because of that huge, beautiful work that he does. It's almost like an artistry to laying out that show floor. And the same goes for the seminars. You have so many great minds, but you have to figure out how to layer them correctly, where to put them in the whole scheduling scheme so that they're not overlapping on other things. And those people can still have their TransWorld experience as well by still giving back to other haunters. So
yeah, no, for sure. So it's great. You know what? We're really lucky to have a great industry of all these 3 industries that we have put together, because there's so many people that can share such valuable information. It's not like that in every industry. It really isn't.
Right.
People don't necessarily want to share, and they hold really close to the vest. And I think it's great that all of these attractions, really take the time to give back and explain some of the pitfalls they had as well as some of the great things they've done.
Well, speaking of giving back, do you think we might be able to surprise, one of our viewers here with something real special, maybe a seminar pass?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So
Chris, you get to pick.
Oh,
somebody's going to win a free 1-hour seminar.
So one hour seminar.
And
drum roll,
winner
please.
is?
We're just looking through the chat here. And because it just happens to be the last one on there, we're going Miles Dudley.
Love Miles.
Congratulations, Miles. Give me an email at kris@haashow.com, kris@haashow.com. Give your information and I'll get it to Jen.
Yes. And if you guys are sticking around with us, we told everybody at the beginning, this is like a supersized show. We have so much to cover. We're highlighting a couple of things, but we're going in depth with some of the stuff. And we still have a special guest.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sure you've had enough of me.
Before we let you go, can we talk events real quick? We'll go super fast.
Super fast.
There's a million events. We can't talk about them all right now, but we just want to touch on some of the quick highlights. The first one, obviously, is TransWorld's Networking Night Out right on Wednesday the 1st, 7:30 to 10:30. Tell us everything.
That's an event that used to just be for Halloween. And then last year we opened it up and made it for Christmas. We made it at that time, it was Escape. And I have to say that it has been the most asked for event to bring back that we've had. So we've looked to try to expand the room a little bit more. I mean, we had a full house and people came to us and they're like, we got so much information. We got so much out of it. And I really felt great because it was something that Nicole and I had developed and it really took off, and we're doing it again this year. So that's something that if you really want to get a chance to talk to a bunch of different people on a bunch of different topics, it's a must see event. I mean, it really is one of the best events that we do, especially for networking.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And the big thing is that a lot of the table moderators and individuals that helped me out last year at that event are like first to be like, wait, I am coming on Wednesday. I will be there, because they themselves really enjoyed that opportunity to not only sit down with people and explain things, but really talk shop and have it be that, they have a topic that they are passionate about and they want to talk about. Guess what? those people that are sitting at the table with you all have that same passion and all want to talk about that particular subject. So it's really cool, and it rotates and it moves, and you can talk to so many different people in one night. Endless opportunities.
I mean, where else are you going to sit down and talk to Dwayne from 13th Gate Haunted House, the owner of it? I mean, it's something that it's priceless, a lot of this stuff. So, definitely take advantage of that evening.
What a cool, I think you guys called it speed dating before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. Like,
kind of feels that way.
Yeah. No, but the other thing that I loved is like people that were brand new and they just walk in and maybe they were late, or they're like, I didn't even know where this was. It's my first time. Or they'd approach me beforehand and be like, hey, do you work here? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And I'm not a caterer. No. They'd be like, hey, like I'm looking to get started. And I'm like, perfect. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do table 4, table 7, and then table 10. And they're like, what? Like, yeah. They're all table doors. You're going to know what they are, blah, blah, blah. And they came up to me afterwards and they were like, I literally got to sit next to Alan Hops the entire time. And like, I learned so much. So yeah, that one is because like Jen and I's.
Is that included in my 4? Because I didn't put that.
No, that was after hours.
In my 3, can I add that 4?
We did specifically ask him about that, and he did say yes. And regardless of whatever comment he puts on here.
Yeah.
I think one of the key parts to remember as you're planning your TransWorld trip is that event. And there's another event, we're going to talk about it later, but that event is on Wednesday, February 1st. So make plans to get there earlier in the day on Wednesday. Don't wait till Thursday.
Really quick, I'm just gonna expand on that because there was a specific question about how it works. So yes, so you get there, you're going to have people like the bar is open and there's food and all that, and you get like 10 to 15 minutes to kind of mill around and network. Then what happens is we jump right into our first round, and in our first round there are table numbers and subject numbers that are displayed there, and we're really hoping to have some other stuff around that help guide people on that side, and you navigate to the tables that you want to sit at. And sometimes it's based on the topic. Sometimes it's based on the speaker, or I shouldn't say speaker, because they're moderators and they're just adding to the conversation and keeping it going. And then what'll happen is there is a timer that goes off. You have your final moments to kind of make connections. Then you get up again, kind of mill around, go to the bar, go to the bathroom, and then we start the next session. And then in that middle of the session, if you're like, okay, great, I got the question out that I wanted to for Alan, I'm now going to hop to a different table. You're more than welcome to do that. You'll see people being like, okay, I've got a list of all these things that I want to get done, and I want to talk to all of these people. And that's totally fine. You can totally do that.
Now, are there any, James from the chat had asked, are there any age restrictions? Can a 16-year-old attend the night events?
Yeah, they can. They will be wristband, obviously underage because we don't want them drinking, but they can definitely, attend events. That's not an issue. If they're younger than 16, they need to be accompanied, by an adult type of thing. But yes, we do, extend our events to, especially the ones, like the networking events where maybe you need to, do that, but you do have to pay for a ticket for, you can't just buy a ticket. And if you have your child with you, bring them. So
it's a really good point.
Well, the event that makes us all feel like a child, like a big kid for the whole night, of course, the City Museum party on Thursday night.
Get to that one. That's amazing. Yeah.
If you haven't been there, you are missing out on the experience of your entire year. It's awesome. I find a new nick and corner like that I haven't seen before every time we go.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it is the most popular event we do. I actually think it's bigger than the Saturday night party. I mean, and that's one of those things that we do have to turn people away if it gets too big. So if you are planning on going to City Museum, do not wait. Do not wait to buy your tickets. Buy them as soon as you can, because that event does sell out.
We talked a lot about the holiday lighting education series, and there's going to be a party on Friday night just focusing on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you buy the package, the $395 package, that does include the party afterwards, which is the bowling and the food and the networking and the 2-hour open bar, which is always a good thing.
It's 8 o'clock.
Yes.
That computer sound plays in my head. Like when I look at a thing and I'm like, it's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
It's 9 p.m.
That's me
Yeah.
now. So, that's one thing. But the other thing too is if you decide you don't want to buy the whole package, you can buy that individually if you want to network with some of the speakers afterwards and you want to just mingle, that you can buy that as a single ticket. So that's an option too.
Last year, we got a chance to meet with Vampire Circus, go a little bit behind the scenes. And this year, we're hearing there's a brand new production called The Asylum.
Yeah. So from the producers of Vampire Circus, they changed up their show a bit. Everyone got to vote on that. He had a Christmas themed event, or he had this one. And this seemed to be the way everyone wanted to go, with a little bit, make it a little bit of a darker Halloween type of theme. But he did change it up. So, for people that do love the Vampire Circus and really do appreciate everything he does, come to the new show. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of new elements to it that you really enjoy.
And Jen, that's a brand new show that's like almost debuting right at TransWorld. Like he when he was explaining it to us, he was kind of talking about it. And that's, from the sounds of it, it's going to be like the next best thing.
Yeah,
the next
that's what it, yeah.
Based on
Nicole got a chance to sit down with him recently and talk to him a little bit about it. So, that is great that he is changing it up, so much. And I think people are really going to enjoy it because he is so talented, and so is his entire crew. So
yeah, for sure.
Very much so. Very much. Now, staying on Friday, if you're in the Christmas world, there's going to be an amazing party that night. Let it glow. Let it glow. Let it glow.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. It's a blacklight party. I actually got the idea from Rich, who did this amazing, he did a bar mitzvah that was in blacklight, and it was so much fun. So we kind of talked, we're going to have some other surprises there along with it and things, but I think it's going to be amazing. Now, if you're not that into blacklight, you will have the opportunity to sit out. There's a beautiful mezzanine area where we're going to be hosting this party at the Magnolia. So you can sit out in the light, and you don't have to, go into the black light thing. But we are encouraging people to wear white or neon and really go with the theme. It's the reason we switched the party from Saturday night is a lot of the haunted house owners wanted to go to the Christmas party. And last year they couldn't because the parties were at the same time. They overlapped. So this year now it gives everyone a chance to go everywhere. And just because it's Christmas doesn't mean that the Halloween guy shouldn't come. It's all these parties are for everyone to enjoy and to network. You want to network with everyone. That's the whole point of having all of these shows together. So you get ideas.
Now,
yeah. In that description, if you haven't read it, I strongly suggest it. It's very adorable.
Nicole didn't help write it or anything.
Not at all. One of my finer works. I was very excited about it.
No, we're really exciting. And honestly, we're going to have sunglasses for you guys. We're going to have all sorts of things that are blacklit. We're excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of dancing, a lot of food, and some entertainment. So I think.
And one of the cool things is what you mentioned, and this is something for everybody to kind of know, is that feedback was taken to heart, that people want to be able to go to multiple parties. And that's exactly what we did with the interactive entertainment event. We're doing an interactive adventure. And I'm just going to take it because I know that you guys are going to make me talk about it. So, and that is an interactive mystery. And if you guys came last year and did the mystery, it is a completely different one, completely different basis. This one is really fun because it's called The Masquerade. And we just had this event here locally. It sold out, and it was so much fun, and people did show up in masquerade masks. If you don't have them, we will have them there for you, so that you can be part of the party, and you get to interact with everybody there. And that's one of the cool things from our design, from our team that does that for our individual business. They know how to make people mix and mingle, and which is great. And then also it's at BLTs, which their food is delicious. Their, the drinks, the bartenders there are wonderful. And it's going to be done in time this year so that you can still make it to Dead Man's Party.
So to answer Alan, that's a big reveal. Of course, our big Saturday night party, ladies. Do you want to talk about Dead Man's Party?
So that actually was Chad's idea. Chad Savage, for those of you who may or may not know him. We were talking about different themes, and we go back and forth. And it just kind of was great because it could mean anything. You could be a zombie. You could be, I mean, there was so many different things that can incorporate dead man. And it's going to be great. We have some surprises there as well this year that I can't talk about yet, but we always have the great band, you know, from Basement of the Dead. They're always there doing the DJ. You've got the dance floor. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. And then as well as we have food and things like that. So.
That's so exciting.
And lots of alcohol.
And for those that are keeping track, it's Saturday night, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. So business by day, party by night, no sleep till Monday. I love it. Well, do you think, Nicole and Jen,
Chris, it's time.
it is time.
I'm gonna head out. And I'm gonna
Yes.
bring
All
the
right.
rest on. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate to all the viewers that tuned in tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the show. It means so much to us. We love you guys. And call us if you have questions.
Jen, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Jen.
Thank you. And
Bye,
seriously,
guys.
thanks for working so hard for all of us.
See you in 8 weeks.
Yes.
8 weeks, right? Oh my
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
Nicole,
Holy crap.
do you want the honor? Because you know what? I think we should give a nice little surprise away.
I'm ready for a surprise. Are you guys ready for a surprise time? Oh, I'm seeing lemons. It's about to get
Lots of
zesty.
lemons, lots of lemons. How about this time? And I'm going to give you the honor, but what if we give a regular ticket away, a 4-day ticket, $95 value to the whole kit and caboodle? What do
Full
you-
admission. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go
Drum roll.
with Tara Green.
Tara Green.
Tara Green, congratulations. You are coming to TransWorld.
On us. Thank you so much
Yes,
for watching.
yes, exactly.
Thank you so much. Bring your
So
lemons.
this is important, guys. This is what happens on the road to TransWorld. Not only are we giving you all the things that have to do with TransWorld, sneak peeks, information, talking to really cool people. But like Tara, you could be coming to the show for free. And then also we had somebody win a seminar earlier, Miles Dudley. And then who knows? We after our really awesome, sparkly next guest, who hopefully hasn't fallen asleep on us. Probably not, because he's probably sipping some stuff with caffeine in it now. Some chai.
Chai tea latte.
Yeah, exactly. We have, I think we've got more surprises, Chris. Is that right?
We do have another surprise. So stick
Okay.
with us. It's going to be worth your time, especially because of our next guest.
Well, and the other thing is this, if you are new to TransWorld Live, one of the best things to do is to be commenting and talking to us and letting us know that you're here, asking questions, engaging. That is exactly how you get recognized to be able to win prizes. So stick with us. We're going to be giving a lot of stuff. Yes, Mountain High chai, in fact. So yeah, I'm ready. And I hope he's in there ready to go.
Big credit to him. He's
Do you
been
want to introduce? There he is.
There he is, of course. The man with the beard. You know him, you love him, all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah. Mr. President, Mr. Spencer Terry. How are you, sir?
57 days. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Here tomorrow. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. It's just so crazy. Spencer, we have we may or may not have been talking about you a little bit.
I should
I need
be
to pull up the text
sorry,
message
I'm sorry.
because it was so funny. I was giggling. Chris, those that don't know, Chris and I have to talk back and forth all the time because whether it's talking about things like Wednesday or other things. So we're talking about you, and we said we need to definitely get an update from you on all things on the HAA side
Let's
of
do
things,
it.
and then also talk about the importance of education for our industry and how it's historically bearded growth.
Nicole's the
Wow.
master of puns.
Wow.
I know. I don't know if you know that about me. I just love them. Lemonade.
Love it.
Before we do the deep dive, of course, his regular day job, he runs the Fear Factory Haunted House in Salt Lake City. We haven't gotten a chance to talk to him live on air since the season ended. How was your season?
It was killer. It was a really, really good year. I think, looking at what's happened nationally and the trend nationally, we were certainly in sync and a little bit higher on trend, which was great. But overall, man, it's been a great year. Our staff just knocked it out of the park this year. We gave away more bonus money than we ever have before because we just felt like people just killed it. And then we would sell out and we'd open up more tickets and we'd sell out again and we'd open up more tickets. And we finally just put a cap and we're like, you know what? Let's just make this the best show possible. And we're glad Salt Lake City loves us. We're glad that, we have folks every single night from all surrounding states and from all over the country. So we're really honored and we're blessed. And here we come 2023. So
Yeah.
I know we got a chance to hang out during the Legendary Haunt Tour this year in Nashville.
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
So many folks talked about trying to get back to Utah just to see you guys and all the amazing attractions that are there. What did you think of Nashville, by the way?
I thought it was good. Nashville had a decent amount of really interesting, different, diverse tiers of haunted attractions, which I thought was really great. Because I think a lot of times it's either kind of this or this, and there's a lot in between. And I think a lot of times those haunted houses also get missed. And so it was really great to get to see a little bit of everything. And also great to see the staff. There was even a couple of staff that reached out and we were just waiting in a group area and they said, hey, we know who you are, or, we watched what happened with COVID, or we really appreciate what you guys are doing in the factory. And it's very humbling to know that we're able to help our industry. This is something that we love. Like all of us, right? Like this is something that we love and we give our lives for every single day. And it's an industry that we're going to stick with forever. So we're excited to be able to make the change.
That's amazing. It's amazing. All right, we've got all sorts of love coming in for you.
Gosh.
The great HA.
Oh, thanks
president,
everyone.
It's pouring out.
Spooky Salt Lake City Santa.
Wow.
Yeah, like it.
Oh, thank you, Tyler. Wow.
All I think, I'm like, wait, but nobody mentioned that he drives a Subaru. Like, it's important.
It's true. I do drive a Subaru Ascent, and I'm very proud of that. I drink chai, I drink a Subaru, I eat granola. I don't know what's next, but bring it on. Like I'm in. Let's do this.
Yeah, you're clearly from New York or somewhere. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love it. It's part of your brand, and it's great.
Totally.
Now, one of the big questions that we're getting has nothing to do with the industry, but what beard products do you use? It's hard to pop up here. We have to just.
Okay, so full disclosure, I can't believe I'm going to say this on the live air. So I don't use anything. I'll shout out to my parents because I don't know which one of them pulled that card in the beard genetics rule, but thank God they did. Because my brother doesn't really grow a beard, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to compete with that. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to let it do its thing. And it just kind of does its thing, and it just, shower. And
I can't believe you just said that on air. You don't understand. In my household, you're like legendary to my husband. And he talks about the beard and like this. And I'm like, if you want a beard like his, you got to use beard oil.
Oh my goodness.
I just said it today. I was like, you need to
Maybe
moisturize it.
Okay, Nicole, 2024, we're going to do a beard seminar. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. No, we are not. No, we're not.
Remember, submit your seminar ideas to haashow.com.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, hey, full shout out, because Nicole, you guys were talking about this earlier about if you don't submit a seminar topic, you're probably not going to get covered. So full disclosure, and most people probably don't really care about this, but the reality is that I've probably submitted 15, 20 different seminars. And I think I've probably taught, 8, 9 times. Like that's it. And so it goes to show that we all have really good ideas, but it's timing and trend really are key. And so I want to just put that out there because I agree. I think a lot of times people just are like, man, they didn't pick me again. And there's times where I felt the same way, but you know what? It is for a good reason. It's going to come back. You just got to wait.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really important thing. And I'm so glad that you attested to it because like I was, back in the younger Nicole days and I was like, oh my God, I put one in and it never got, no, you're right. Because there's certain things that happen, especially when we're talking to people on the board and we're talking to people around and we're looking at trends and we're looking at what's going to be relevant. Spencer, you had a really great season. I had a really great season. There's a lot of other people that had really great seasons. There's a lot of people though that didn't. And we still need to make sure that we're providing content for them that is going to make sure that the industry as a whole is getting the education that they need to continue all the way around. Yeah. Alan says, submit 5 ideas, not 1. Because like we said earlier, there's times when you read it and you're just like, wait, what is this about? Or that's a little too weird. Or that might not apply to everybody, right? Or be able to help everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
And to those that are asking, how do I submit this? HAAshow.com. In the navigation bar, there's seminars and events. Drop down. It's the 3rd bar. It says call for presenters form. Click on that.
It's perfect. Oh my gosh. All right, I cannot believe we even have so much more so much more in store.
We do. So much to talk about.
Aside from Fear Factory, aside from your legendary beard, you are the president of the Haunted Attraction Association. Tell us all about the HAA.
Man, it's it's exciting. I've got a few years left on the board, and I made a decision, like most of us, that I wanted to get more. Like I needed more tools. I needed more networking. I needed more, all of it. I needed all of it. That's really what it was. And I think in general, point to what was said earlier is if you stop learning, you're dead. Like that's it. And I'm the same way. There's a million things that I'm going to keep learning. And so I think part of it is how do we give back, right? And that's part of what HAA is all about. It's all about, it's about promoting our industry. It's about education, and it's about all these things of how we protect our industry. But it's also about networking, and it's about sharing secrets, or what are the tips and tricks that you need to know. Or for the folks that did have a bad year this year, let's sit down and have a place to do that and talk shop about what happened, why did it happen, and I may not know those answers, but $20 says I do know someone who's either going to have something that's going to happen similar, or they're going to have a couple of tools that may be worth looking into. And that's what it's all about. And so I think HAA, the Haunted Attraction Association, has really stepped up the game in a lot of different ways. And a really great shout out to our board. The board of directors, essentially, a couple of years ago, and we launched this 3-year strategic plan, and it was kind of we're either in or we're not. We're either going to do this 1,000%, not 100%. We're going to do this 1,000%, or we're not. And we pushed forward, and I think a lot of folks were really skeptical about how it was going to work. And here we are now. We've unveiled tons of new content. We've launched everything from a whole new resource library that has hundreds and hundreds of documents and videos about how to run an attraction, all the way to our sexual harassment training that we launched last year. We're actually gearing up for another a specific workshop that we're going to be talking about during State of the Industry this year, which we'll cover a little bit more, I'm sure, later on. So there's just a lot. And I think at the end of the day, the HAA is all about how do we support our members. That might be looking at financial skills, that might be operational skills, that might be policies that they can use. There's a little bit of everything, but we're really excited about it, and we're happy to be able to help do it, and we're happy to be the voice of the industry, and we're happy that our members are really proud and happy for what we're doing so far. We consistently are checking in and taking a pulse to find out what we need to do better and what direction we need to go in next to kind of help the industry. So it's a lot. There's a lot happening, but we're really proud of where we are and where we're going. And it's exciting that HAA gets to also be at TransWorld. TransWorld is like the mecca of our industry, right? Like everyone and their dog, well, maybe not their dog, but everyone is at this event. And so maybe there are some dogs, actually, thank goodness. And so that's the best part, is getting to see everyone and also do a lot of networking, which is, I think, really great. So we're excited to be back at TransWorld. We're excited to have our events at TransWorld. That's where almost, a lot of folks are at this event. And so that's why we have a lot of our HAA things happening at TransWorld. And we're excited for February, 57 days. I better drink really quick.
Now, I know that you can sign up at the show, so you'll have a booth there. But if people want to learn more, Jennifer in the chat was asking, how can I learn more? Maybe sign up for membership now. Where can they go?
Jennifer Luke, you're amazing.
I know.
So you can be a member in a couple of different ways. You can be like Jennifer and you can donate to the HAA auction, which we're going to talk a little bit more about, and how we support our vendors and how our vendors support the industry through the HAA. You can become a member specifically, and you can buy your membership. You've got a couple of different options, either at a $50 level, a $125 level, or a $250 level, depending on the 125 is if you're $100,000 or below in revenue, and 250,000 is if you're $100,000 in revenue or above. Otherwise, there's a $50 individual as well, which I think that at last count, our return on investment for an individual membership that's $50 is like $6,000 value. And it just keeps going up from there. I mean, we've got legal advisors on the committees. We have marketing associates that are there to be able to help folks out. There's a lot of tools. And that's the idea, is that we're trying to really network and bring our industry together so that we can help support it further. So you can go to our website, actually just go straight to hauntеdattractionassociation.com. That's probably the easiest way. Hauntеdattractionassociation.com, click on membership, pull it down. It's right there. All the information's there. So
really quick, can somebody become a member if their haunt is not a member?
Can they be is an individual member?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. So a lot of times, in fact, we actually have some haunted houses because take Fear Factory, for example, here in Salt Lake City. So, we, as part of our membership, we pay the $250 a year, and that allows us to have 3 people on our account. However, we have other managers, or we have other directors, or we have other staff that also want to be members. And so they're coming in at the individual level as well. So there's a couple of different ways to do that. But in the end, it's not just about operators. It really is about all the different levels. We have content specifically for makeup artists. We have content that we're actually developing right now for actors. We're looking at a really cool systemic actor training nationwide.
Love that.
So there's some really, really great things that are coming down the pipe. But it's there for everyone. That's our job. Our job is that we need to be there for everyone. And so we're really working hard on content to be able to create that.
That's awesome. So now we had some specific questions about chaos.
Yes.
One of them, if I remember, if all of the classes for chaos are offered at TransWorld, are any of them online?
Yes. So one of the things that happens at TransWorld this year, and some of you may be having questions, because it begins the 2023 recertification. So one of the things that we valued is that we recognize that the powers that be in the nation, federal, state, local, they want to see a recertification system specifically for safety. So we've rolled that out. That begins this year. And so pretty much you've got 3 years, and those rolling are going to allow for a recertification opportunity. There's a couple of ways to do that. There's going to be a big 4-hour recertification, which is going to cover pretty much the nuts and bolts, the basic core items that we as an association believe we want you to know that's pertinent right now for safety in the industry. That said, that will be online, but we're also working on 1 or 2 seminars that will be happening throughout 2023 that will also be 1 hour. Those will be online through our member portal. If you're part of a membership, you'll be able to be on our internal. We have a members only Facebook page. That's where those announcements are consistently made. And we'll be doing a 1-hour certification for that. Now, let's say that you can't do either of those. You can still come to TransWorld in February in 57 days, and you can still come to the Thursday Chaos class. It's still a 4-hour credit. You'll still have Brett Molitor, our director for Chaos, is going to be there teaching it with a few of our other folks. We've got Jim Werner from, we have Jim and Brent that are also from our board that are also going to be teaching there. Those 2 have a really great, very in-depth knowledge about safety. And so we're excited to bring them on as they're teaching as well. So you've got some options, whether you want to do an online version or if you want to do the in-class 4-hour, you can retake that class. And of course, that content is always being updated as well. So we're excited for that.
Awesome. Chris, I think I lost the other comment. Can you...
Oh my gosh,
Right.
chaos is a big one, and they're excited about all of the different events that are going to be happening during TransWorld. So if you don't mind, Spencer, can we just dive into like doing them in chronological order?
Yeah.
Totally, we can. Nicole, I remember the other one. Sean had mentioned it. He asked when the other seminars for Chaos are going to be announced.
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
stand by, man. Like, I know. So everything just rolled out. As you heard, like, seminars are out, the cat's out of the bag. So our job now is to reach out to those presenters to find out what that content is going to be, to make sure it is eligible, that there is there's some content there about safety that matches what we're looking for, what we need our industry to know. And then we're confirming that with presenters. So one thing I can ask is that if you are a presenter, you already know what your content is going to be, and you think it can be chaos certified, shoot us a quick email really quick, HauntedAttractionAssociation@gmail.com. And you can at least just shoot us a note that says, hey, here's my seminar, here's my date, time, here's who I am, here's what my content's going to be. We're going to be evaluating that. Both Brett Molitor and myself we spend almost a day and a half combing through every single seminar, looking for the content that's going to match up with what we want. So, Sean, there you go, man. Stay tuned.
Thank God you're here, Spencer.
I think we're going to try and have that to Jen and the team to get up online by this weekend. We're real, because I know a lot of people, like, it's go time, right? Like, we're booking our flights. If you don't have your hotel yet, you should. And just make sure that we can give people as much information as we have, which leads us to Wednesday's event, right, Chris?
Yes. I mean, it's a perfect lead in, sir. A beautiful partnership between the Haunted Attraction Association and TransWorld. It is the very first event of the entire marathon known as TransWorld. We're calling it our welcome back mixer at the Flamingo Bowl Happy Hour.
It's gonna be fun.
Spencer, tell us all what we can expect to be here. This is the party. I mean, this
is the party. This is what kicks it off.
Yeah.
This is it. So one of the things that we noticed last year, and as Jen and I were talking, we realized how many people were staying in hotels Wednesday night, but had they didn't have a ton of things to do other than the mixer that Nicole luxuriously ran, and it was.
And not to fear.
I can't wait to facilitate that again, because it really was a lot of fun. So
Spencer's already promised his presence as a present to me at the networking event and a present to all of you. So in the spirit of giving,
And it's a present for me, because I love getting to network and I love meeting other people, because I'm learning as well. Like, I may be facilitating, but there's times where I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
So Wednesday at Flamingo, if you like to bowl or if you don't, if you like to drink or you don't, if you like to eat or you don't, if you like to talk to people or you don't, this is the party. So it's essentially a welcome back. It's the first time that we're gonna, this is something that we're looking at how we're gonna roll this out every single year. It's a really fun partnership with HAA and TransWorld to get people to come and really just connect the dots. So this is if there's someone that you want to meet, if there is a target person that you have a question for, start TransWorld off the right way and be at this event so that you've got access to this. And this is a small event, you guys. Like, we're talking I think we have an occupancy cap of 300 people. That's it. Ooh. So it's a pretty small, intimate space where we get to hang out, we get to eat some food, but we also get to really just connect and really just kind of check in. And it's the kind of event where it's okay to interrupt people and be like, just kind of stand next to someone and be like, are you done? Are you done talking? Because I got a question for you. Like,
Chris, I know what we're doing at that event. We're going to stand next to Spencer.
Are you done yet?
Can we talk?
And then after we're done with the event, we're going to roll over to the Holiday Inn, because that's where we're going to continue it. There's another opportunity to really dive deep into networking, which is going to happen later that night. So that's where the topics that Nicole was talking about earlier, it really is like speed dating, round robin.
Give your take on it, because we don't have a problem selling it. We just sometimes have a problem explaining it. And once you get it, you're like, oh my God, yes, all right, I understand.
Yeah, I think instead of speed dating, you could probably say it's like speed content dating. Because at the end of the day, like, you have targeted content. You're essentially walking into the room and you want to learn A, B, and C. So the idea then is that A, B, and C are tables, and those tables have the content that you want to know and have other people who also want that content or want to share that content. So that's kind of how I saw it as a facilitator. And I definitely, you're welcome. I'll send you a bill. You can use that word. It's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna write it down. Also,
but
at
that's
the
what I
same
like
time,
about it. I
Alan
loved
said it's my favorite event.
It
I gotta
was, right, Alan?
shout
Like,
that for my mom.
Alan and I talked afterwards, and we're like, that was really fun. Like it, Alan and I, we love getting to see the industry, and just, it was a really fun room. It was a really
That's
great
good.
event.
That's good. Well, and that's the thing is that there's so much fun happening, and it you know, who says, hey, I'm going to a networking mixer? Like, I don't know about you, but locally I'm like, another one. I can't wait to see Bob the real estate agent and Tim from insurance again.
Yeah.
You know? Right now you're like, oh my God, I get to see these people. I get to like sit right next to them, like basically like the whole time, like, you know.
Yes.
Girling as much as you need to, I guess.
Yes.
But, yeah, I'm picturing musical chairs on steroids. It's a very accurate.
Erica, good call.
Actually, yeah, just throw in some mozzarella sticks and we're good to go. Like, we're
Yes,
golden.
and toasted raviolis. Perfect.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So I'm super stoked for that event. So that's our Wednesday happy hour welcome back event, and then you can come to the networking event right after that.
It's a perfect Wednesday, a perfect start to the weekend.
Yeah. Yes. One of the things that's great about our Wednesday happy hour that's going to be at Flamingo is HAA wanted to do something where we were also giving back to our members. And this is one of those ways, because HAA members that have your 2023 membership already paid for, you at the door, you'll actually be able, we're going to be, we know who our members are and who are not our members. But you can either purchase that in advance. You can buy that right now on haashow.com. And then we're working with the team at TransWorld to make sure that all of our 2023 members that have already prepaid, because a lot of times people pay at TransWorld at our booth, which is great. We want to see them anyway. But if you want to do your membership ahead of time, it's also going to save you, save you $15 at this event. So there's another perk.
There you go.
Not too bad.
Well, just moving on, just in the sake, we've obviously talked about Chaos. That's going to be on Thursday from 8 to noon. So we talked about that. But let's talk about the State of the Industry seminar. It's a key piece of information that people love to attend. And this year, it's going to be on Friday, right in the morning from 9 to 10.
Yes, and note too, for all those that are curious, typically State of the Industry happens in the afternoon, right before Oscars. And in this case, we've actually moved it at the request. I think it was actually Alan from our board who said, it'd be really good if we could actually do that earlier in the day, because a lot of times people either have questions or more content comes up and they're like, hey, I got another question, but we didn't have time for it. And that gives them some extra time throughout the show to be able to stop and find that person to ask that question. So we are moving State of the Industry. So it is going to be Friday morning. Please note that change, 9 a.m. We are planning on doing a really quick, maybe a 5 to 10 minute recap of at least kind of where we are. We always have, it's kind of like, it's part of our bylaws is we have to have our general membership meeting. So that happens for the first 5 or 10 minutes. We'll do a quick recap of what we've done for the year. But we want to spend a lot of time talking about what is coming up. 2023 and 2024 have some really great things that are lining up. And there's a lot of content and there's a lot of questions that are out there. One of the things that came up earlier this year is, how do I protect my staff? How do I protect my team from predators? Or how do I make sure that I'm doing, how do I do background checks? And most folks don't know, if you're a member, you already get like 60% off background checks through 2 different companies.
Wait,
so a lot of people don't use that benefit. We want to have those conversations so that people are able to do that. And this is part of our role, part of our mission is protecting the industry. And this is another way that we're doing that. And so we have a lot of things that we want to talk about to make sure that we're getting information out there. But also at the same time, we want to make sure that people also know what's coming over the hill. I mean, we've got inflation that we're certainly still concerned about. There are some interesting numbers and targets that we're looking at, even from conversations that have been happening post IAPA about how do we navigate what's next. I think 2020 threw us for a loop. 2021 threw us for a loop. 2022, a lot of us tried to forecast and we did okay. But there's just a lot, and we don't have our fortune telling ball, but we'll do the best that we can. And that's part of our board, having a really good, diverse board, is that they all are experts in different areas, and that kind of helps us bring together the right amount of knowledge.
Thank you. We're getting some great love from Aaron Smith, some really positive comments about being at that State of the Industry seminar and how important it is to their business.
I see that. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. It's, Niles Haunted House is a good example. I mean, Niles has been around for, goodness, 30, 40, 50. I think like they've been around for a long time. And it goes to show you can be in this industry forever and still come and keep learning and keep brushing up on skills. So I couldn't agree more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's Jennifer. It's a perfectly prompted question. Obviously, we can see the benefit for these 5-6 days of TransWorld, but what about the other 360 days of the year? What benefits do you have for being a part of this amazing organization?
Sheesh, there is such a long list. I mentioned earlier, we're at a $6,000 value at this point. I think one of the things that we've been asked a lot was, how do I become a professional attraction? You'll notice I put that in air quotes because I think that at the end of the day, we're all busting our butts and we're all doing a really good job at it. And we are professionals. Like, let's be honest. I don't know that having a professional haunted attraction means anything really. And so, but I do think there are things that you can do to become, to move from a home haunt, like similar to me. Like, I started as a home haunter. Like, I was a home haunter for 20 years. This is what I love. And I went from being a home haunter to a mid-size attraction to a mega attraction. And I think in part, there's different things to learn in all of those stages. The ROI that comes back from members is each of those different tiers. So if you can imagine, there's going to be things that you need to know if you're a home haunter. There's going to be things that you need to know if you're a 20, 15,000 attendees or less attraction. There's going to be things that you're going to want to know if you're a 70,000 attraction attendee or higher. There's things that you're going to want to know if you're an actor or if you're a makeup artist or if you're operations or build or safety or all those different things. Those are all things that are built into how we can support each other. And I think, our online portal is great. I mentioned earlier about background checks. That's a perk that we have. We have vendors specifically that some of them even do discounts for members. We have one of our biggest things that we do is we have a crisis team, which is really great. The Karshner Group. They essentially are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for August, September, and October. And if something happens, if you have, knock on wood, if you have a catastrophic event, a shooting, a fire, something horrible that happens at your attraction, and the media start pounding at your door and they're like, hey, we want to talk to you. What do you do? And so that person is on call. Their team is on call 24/7 for members to be able to reach out and say like, help. And a lot of times they'll either give you the tools to do it, or sometimes they can even step in and actually act on your behalf, which is kind of cool. We have a legal team. We talked about that earlier. Every single year, members get a 30-minute legal consult for free. We used to have one legal advisor on our team. We now have 5 lawyers on this committee. Wow. Their job is essentially to help out. And even, we had, I think it was, I don't remember if it was this last season or the season before, but we had something that happened and it was for another member, and the member reached out to me specifically. It was like, hey, I need some help. How do I get in touch with the legal team? I'm sitting here reading this while I'm in my queue line. I got 4,000 people sitting here looking at me. And I'm like, hang on really quick. And I ducked around the corner really quick. And I sent it to our legal team, got them taken care of. One of them said, got it. I can handle that one. They pulled them back. And literally, I think within like 2 hours, they were able to respond and get them the help that they needed. So,
wow.
I can't say it's always going to be that fast, but that's the goal. And so we really try and do what we can. And those, the lawyers, I think they've probably got over 100 years of legal experience collectively. Like,
wow,
they're pretty cool. So, and the list just goes on, right? Like, it really does just go on. And that's kind of the idea, is that we listened to what the members wanted, and we either took strategic movements to be able to make that happen, or those are happening and in play right now. And those will roll out by 2024. So we're excited.
Well,
so not to change directions, but we'd like to talk about something else that's really awesome and beneficial, and it happens for a lot of haunters at the show, and that is the live auction.
Yes.
And the reason Nicole brings this up because she makes sure that she's sitting right in the front, and like, it's an exhilarating process.
Yep.
My biggest question is though, is the room going to be bigger than last year? Do we know that?
We it's a blessing and a curse, right? Like this is a standing room only event. If you don't get there early, if you don't fight Nicole for a front seat, and you don't beat Eddie to the bar, then chances are you're not, I mean, you're going to have fun no matter what.
Yeah.
But it is a standing room only event. This is probably by far one of our biggest attended events because it is not only fun, it's enjoyable, it is a hoot, but you're also going to walk off with some really great stuff. I mean, secret. I don't know if anyone knows this or not, but we have some of the best vendors on the planet. I mean, I've been part of the casino industry. I've been part of the hotel industry. I've been part of the nonprofit industry. The vendors that we have in this industry blow it out of the park. And not only are they supporting what we do as operators, but they're supporting the makeup side, the actor side. I mean, every single year, I think Fear Factory, we bring at least 10 plus staff every year to TransWorld. And they're always different people because we want to give them that experience to come see this. It's not about us. Like there is a world that is so big out there. And so that's what our vendors do. And they're phenomenal for it. And so vendors a lot of times will donate these items we use this as a fundraiser. So, we have great vendors that donate their products. These are usually products that are specific, either one of a kinds. Last year we had a product. I don't know if I can mention vendors or not. The list is too long. Probably I'll forget someone. But we have vendors that made specific things just for this auction, and we're really appreciative, very humbled to see our vendors do some amazing things. And this is why we support these vendors, is because the more we support them, the more fuel they have to be creative. The more the creative they are, the better our shows are. The more money we make, and the more people come. And so it really is cyclical. So the HAA auction is just that. It's an auction. It's fun. You're going to score some good deals. You're going to get some really good product. You're going to have a good time.
It helps give back.
And it helps give back.
Very true.
And it gives back. It's a great fundraiser.
And even like Sean had mentioned there, he won nothing and still had a great time. So it's
amazing.
So we got a chance last year because Joe Thaler was honored with an amazing award. So we actually streamed that live right here on TransWorld Live.
Yes.
But concluding all of the HAA events at TransWorld, the official ones are the Oscars Awards Banquet Saturday night.
Yes.
Tell us everything.
The Oscars is the awards event of our industry. Every industry has the best ofs. And for the haunted attraction industry, it is this night. It's Oscars. And one of the things that's really great that I don't know that a lot of people really know, and our members know this because they're seeing it right now on our members only page. And we'll probably put it out there because I know that we're going to see it on our main social media. It's gone out in all of our email blasts and some other areas as well. But the industry can nominate these awardees. Like, it's not something that only X group gets to do or that only X group can nominate. Any of you in the entire world can nominate attractions that you feel are worth it to get these top awards. They go through a vetting process, which are made up of board members and members alike. And it's a really fun opportunity to go. I think the funnest parts about the event is that what happened last year. So, we listened to our members, and one of the things that was suggested was, how do we kind of just shift this a little bit and make it more, bring it up to date, make it add some cool technology to it. And one of our board members, John Schwartz, has done a really phenomenal job of really kind of polishing this beautiful diamond and turning it into something that's just absolutely elegant. And so we're really excited for this year's event. It's already going to be better. You do not need to be a member to be able to come to this event. That's one of the great things, is that you can actually just attend. There is also food. There's some light hors d'oeuvres and snacks that are there as well. It's also complimentary. So you can get there early, get in line. If you are a member, though, you do get reserved seating. There are some tables up front, and those are always reserved for members, which is great. And then also an added perk is that if you are already, and again, we've said this before when we were talking about Wednesday's happy hour event, but if you've already paid your 2023 membership, or stop by the booth, we're at booth 2023 because it's in the year 2023.
I was wondering when you're going to slip that in.
Thank you, Rich. You're amazing. So if you didn't already know that 2023 was going to be off the hook, now you can remember that that's the booth that you also need to be to this year, because HAA's booth will be in 2023. You can stop by if you didn't pay your membership online ahead of time. Stop by the booth, get your membership taken care of, and you'll also receive, I think we're going to do wristbands. We did wristbands last year, or we're going to have coupons. So at the Oscars, you'll be able to also get a free drink on the HAA. It's just kind of a cool way for us to give back. It's a fun way. And that was how the members said, it'd be really cool to have an event or get a free drink. And we're like, okay, we can do that. And so we had to figure out our fundraising and raise enough money. And now we have the money to be able to give back to our members. And so that's exactly what we're doing, is what they asked for. So, so that event will be on Saturday night from 5 until 7:30, up in, I think, the 241. So kind of towards the front of the building when you enter, just upstairs. But it's a lot of fun. And you can nominate these nominees now. You can go to either, in fact, I will make sure that we post the link sometime this week. We have an amazing marketing team that's been doing a really great job, from Jonathan Unick from Dungeon of Doom and John Schwartz. And so those two have really been trailblazing a lot of our marketing, because we had members that also told us, hey, we don't really know what you were doing in years past. And so now our job is to be telling you what to do, what resources you have, and how to utilize all of that. So they've been doing a really great job. So props you too. So, and to the whole committee. So there's a lot happening, and we're excited about it.
Not to put you on the spot, but is there a cutoff or a deadline for those award nominations?
There is. It's the end of the year, actually, okay. December 31st. So it's coming up. So you've got, a little bit less than 25 days. So we'll make sure that we get those booths, or we'll make sure that we get the link posted, and that way you'll be able to have access to it. But yes, you absolutely need to get your nominations in. We also do a really cool memorial as well. Shout out to Tater. We know Tater's having a rough week. And I think a lot of times in our industry, because we are such a close-knit industry, we also share that grief when folks pass away, or for when folks leave our team, or we have actors that leave. And so it's a great way for us to be able to support and to show how we as an industry care about these people as well. So that also happens during the Oscars. And again, if you have any folks that you would like to have put into that, especially if you have actors or if you're an operator, please send those to our website as well, or to our email, hauntedattractionassociation@gmail.com.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's Oscars.
Wow. That's a lot. And that's a lot of great information. Like, series of things that I didn't know at all, by any means. And we've been part of the HAA for a couple of years now. So that's really, really great.
Love it.
Now.
That's a lot. HAA. Oh my gosh.
But wait, there's more. There's more. So not only are you going to be joining us on that side with your HAA hat on, you're also going to be having your Fear Factor hat, or Fear Factory hat on.
Yes.
And let's go through this. So you're not teaching 1, not 2, but 3. You're right up there with Alan on the amount of information that you're going to be sharing. Tell us about it.
So there will always, I think the one thing that I will consistently stick to my guns is that we learn a lot at TransWorld. That also means that we should be giving back at TransWorld. And
yes.
This is the reason why, I challenge my team to be able to, think of content that they can teach. Our makeup team has taught before. Our front of house director has taught before. And it's because we really want to help. If there's something that we figure out and we're like, this is a game changer for us and it may be for the industry. And as we talk to people and it is, we're going to share that. So there's a couple of things that are coming up. We want to make sure that we have the right content. Again, we've been talking about themes and topics and why that's there.
Yep.
So one of the things that's going to happen this year, we're very honored to get to continue this legacy of folks. Ben Armstrong has taught it before. I think Alan has taught it before. Timmer has taught it before. Eddie's taught it before. Billy's taught it before. But it's essentially the nuts and bolts of what you need to know if you're starting in this industry. And we,
Spencer, I'm so sorry. I'm not bursting out laughing at you. There's two things. Okay. One, we got to get lots of shout outs for you. One of them from Morbid Entertainment. They're very excited to see you. They want to know
I
at the
love
auction.
that.
They're preparing a nice prop for you guys. Also, Tyler Barnett is saying that he loves this episode because Nicole has big Spencer energy. And I'm here for it.
I love it.
BS.
You're next, Tyler. That's so good.
I love it.
This is why we always hit. If you want to find me, chances are you're going to find me within 20 feet of Nicole. That is a very.
I do get a text before and he's like, "What's the deal?" I'm like, "Here's where we're going.
It's true.
This is what we're doing. You bring the chai."
Deal. The party never ends.
Yes.
It's true. It never ends. Thank you, you two. And I'm excited to get to see everyone. This is why I love TransWorld. It's great getting to see everyone.
Oh my God. All right. Sorry. I had to interrupt.
We're essentially doing this like beginners. Yeah, we're doing this like beginners strategy guide. Essentially, as I think about all of the things, at Fear Factory, a lot of times we have people who reach out to us that are like, okay, how do we become Fear Factory? I'm like, first, you don't want to do that. We have what we have because it's what we have. We have an abandoned factory. Not everybody does. And so you want to find ways to make your business successful with what you have. And then you grow from there. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to focus on is just really how do we really just kind of dial that in and look at those fundamental foundations of fear is what we're calling it. So you'll see that seminar that's going to roll out. And that's going to be taught by myself, Heidi Dunfield, Rob Dunfield, two of our other co-owners. We'll roll that out. And then on Saturday, I think is the other seminar, which is our staffing secrets. So, unbeknownst to me, and certainly I think some of us, but folks seem to think it's a really cool thing that we at Fear Factory, we take our leadership on a cruise. We take like 40 of our staff on a cruise every single year. And so people reach out and they're like, why? Why would you do that? And our answer is, why not? Because it does cost a little bit of money, but it's about the R word that we have a lot of times. It's hard to think about retention. And I think in our market where we are now, in the job market that we are, retention's hard. And so we're talking about ways of how we can retain people. How do we, what's the reconnaissance? How do we make sure that we're getting the information out there of our market to be able to get them to even come be employees or volunteers or staff or whatever it is that their role is going to be. And so we're going to pretty much lay out how we do that in our local market, but we're going to also kind of dial it back and we're going to look at it as a national market and kind of pull and look at the national employment register to figure out how do you do this in rural Iowa? Which is where my old haunt used to be. And so how do you do that on a rural area where there's 1,200 people in your city all the way to the metro where you've got a few million people? So we're going to dial all of those out as well. So we got to line up. We're excited to be able to help give back. And we're thankful certainly that folks love coming to our seminars and we're happy to do what we can to give back. And thanks to those that are teaching seminars so that we get to go to your seminar too.
Yeah, I love that. Now, so telling us kind of about this, people are talking about the crew staffing seminars and stuff like that. One thing that you touched on earlier was that you submit a lot of ideas for consideration beforehand. I just want to touch on that again, because there's some people that, you know, have asked these questions before of how that all happens. But one of the things that I think is really great for you, Spencer, and actually for a lot of the other ones, you come up with these dynamic topics and you've got everything ready to go. And a lot of it's data driven, and a lot of it's, you know, not only that, but experiences that you're willing to share on the other side. And I just wanted to thank you for that, because that's really great. And offering to give all that information is wonderful.
Thanks. I mean, again, that's our job.
You're doing a good job.
So thank you. Yeah, we're happy to do it. And I think our team, my team will probably all agree that sometimes I'm a hound, because I want them to give. Like, I want them to give secrets away. And, you know, it's very, I think a lot of times as humans, biologically, we're like, no, don't.
Yeah. I have a saying though, for like every secret you give away, you get 2 in return.
I agree. It's probably like, I'm a firm karma believer. It's probably close to 4 or 5 for me. Like, it comes back.
Wow.
It comes back.
Do you always hurt other people's shopping carts? Yeah,
we do. Well, that's not completely true, because sometimes we have shopping carts end up at the front of our gate, and then we turn them into props.
Yeah, we did. All of a sudden, yeah.
Reuse, recycle.
Yeah. No, we're just on that kick in our family of like talking about that type of stuff and like good shopping karma. Like, if you're not able to find something in the store, it's because you didn't put something away before.
Yeah, it's true.
That you know,
you can't
get out what you put in.
Yep. So true.
Yeah.
So those are the seminars.
The transparency, a lot of love all the way around, Spencer.
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks. Can you
it's
help?
A lot of hard work. Our goal is, you know, we want to do the best that we can for our industry, locally here at Fear Factory and nationally as HAA. And, you know, and we're already looking at when we change our officers around and how we already have a succession plan of continuing this path and looking at, you know, where we're going to be in the future. So I'm excited. I think our industry is an amazing place, and we're doing some really great things. So it's exciting to be on this ride. It's a fun roller coaster.
Thank you for your service.
Chris, did you see this most recent comment? Kyle, you're killing me.
I did hear the beard.
Kyle.
I love that. I love that.
But
I give that 5 lemons.
Yeah, that's 5 lemons.
That's awesome.
Since you're here, would you help us with one more thing, sir? All right. Well,
we're doing a giveaway.
We're doing a giveaway.
We're going to do another giveaway.
Let's do a giveaway.
This time, if it's all right with you, you know, we kind of wanted to make sure that people start off their TransWorld experience with a bang. So we're going to give away 2 tickets, or surprise with 2 tickets to Wednesday night's Flamingo Bowl happy hour welcome back mixer.
Boom.
Would you like to help us pick that random lucky contestant from the chat?
Nicole Ginsburg. Yeah.
The pressure's on. Okay. No one hate me ahead of time if I choose the wrong person.
It's
all right.
Totally random.
Hang on really quick. I'm going to just look. So earlier, I think, Chris, you chose the last person on this feed. So I'm going to choose the current top person on this feed, which is Grant Alexander Davidson. So I don't know who you are, Grant, but you're freaking awesome. I'm glad you're in our industry, and now I want to be able to meet you on Wednesday. So,
oh my God, that's amazing! Congratulations! Woo-hoo. And Alan has set the record straight. Spencer is more than just a great beard.
Oh, I do my best. Thanks, Alan. It's so true. Like when Alan and I are when we're on anything online, man, we have so much fun. Yeah.
Don't tell us that. We'll put you on together on this show.
I would like to agree on the fact that I think Alan should. I'm sorry, Alan. Forgive me ahead of time, but I think having an Alan track would be amazing. Now, here's the catch: is I would agree that Alan should have a track, but that means he can't be at his booth, which means that everyone just has to go buy the booth on day 1, sell that sucker out, and then Alan's gonna be like,
guess I'll do
a seminar. Because he has so many ideas.
He has no choice but to teach us.
He has so many ideas. So we're thankful that we're thankful as an HAA board that we have Alan on our board. So
All right, and so lots of love for your chai. Like we've mentioned it multiple times. You're the chai guy.
Big
you know
chai.
what? Yes, I am the chai guy. Literally, one of my purveyors actually gave me $100 and said, "The next time I see you, I want your license plate to say chai guy." And I was like, "Okay." So I did it. So now I
Wait, really? Do you really?
I
Oh my
really
God,
do.
amazing.
And
That's amazing.
It's too funny. But yes, Mountain High Chai. I've already had requests whether or not I'm going to bring more chai. Yes, I will bring chai. It will be at TransWorld. It's usually on our mezzanine floor at some ungodly hour.
Yes, it is. Sometimes that simply happens
okay.
at 4 a.m.
Yes, because this is like, it's literally like, it's like $1,000 worth of chai concentrate. And we mix it with, you can do milk, you can do lots of different things. And so, but we do, this is part of giving back to this industry. Like, come up to the mezzanine at the hotel, at the convention hotel, and meet people, get some chai, hang out. If you're lucky enough to time it right, Carol Lee Moore is going to have this pizza that's as big as his truck. And that's going to be there as well. Like, you just never really know. It's a great place to meet people, just to like come up and really get to see what it's all about. Like, you've got people who are, Erica, you're awesome. Yes. So between Erica probably has to help Carol carry this pizza. Like, well, I kid you not, like, it is bigger than it. You have to have a truck to get it, like, and you have to like to get it through the door. I mean, like, it's huge. So come up to the mezzanine. We'll certainly have some chai, and the goal is to open the doors so that people come and just hang out, meet people, connect some dots. That is what this industry is about, and that's what makes us so successful. So
love it.
Hang out.
We are so honored to have spent tonight with you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thanks to all of our viewers for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
It's been a party.
For our winners, please email Nicole or myself. So KRIS or Nicole at haashow.com. We'll get you all hooked up. You're going to see Spencer and the Mountain High Chai. It's going to be great. For more chances to win, more
really important question: is it Chicago style or New York style pizza?
Oh,
myself and Sean,
or is it that St. Louis style with the Provel?
I think it's St. Louis style. Like, it is like it's good. It's a locals pizza joint too. So
good to know.
Erica or Carol may know more, but all I know is that it's good and it's at 1 a.m. So it's double good.
Perfect. Oh, and Haley's here from New York too. We're representing tonight, guys.
Everything's good.
I love you all. This is wonderful.
I love it. You two are amazing. Thanks for hosting as always. It's so much fun to get to see this and to like 57 days.
Oh my God.
So here we go.
Oh my God. So Spencer, I just saw that. I saw how we just are very similar.
Oh my God.
That's what we do.
57 days.
No, Haley, no snow. We did get snow before, but not like you guys.
No S words.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Nope.
Yeah. So, guys, we are going to be back here next week. Spencer's not joining us next week, but maybe sometime again soon. December 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. for us New Yorkers. Bringing you all things that are happening with TransWorld and the show on the road to TransWorld. We've got more surprises, more fun things happening. Stick with us. And Spencer, set your alarm to hop on in here. I'd love to see a little chatting between you and
I usually don't like to chat because
I know.
All right, next time I'm in, I'm gonna blow it up.
Yes,
Alan.
You win a prize.
Bring it, Alan.
Surprise. You win a surprise. Yeah.
All right, deal.
All right, perfect.
I love it.
Well, thank you guys all so much for joining us. We loved having you for our mega show, right?
This was awesome.
Supersized episode. Tons of information, not only from Jen, but from Spencer, straight from two of our huge influences in the industry that help out so much with providing knowledge and information and resources. And I could just go on.
2 full hours. And
I know.
There's more.
I know. There's so much more to go.
Oh my God.
Stay tuned here.
Stay tuned.
Thank you guys so much.
We'll see you next week.